Tom, what's this video called?
This is the best undercuts of all time. Hey guys, and welcome back for another hair video. Today, we're going to be taking a trip down memory lane. Back to the old days where undercuts were pretty much the only hairstyle on this platform, and the men's hair community on YouTube didn't even exist yet. To enhance your user experience, timestamps and chapters have been added to the play bar and description of this video, organised by Thomas in Action from YouTube. There was also only a few guys making hair content back in this time. We're talking like 6 years ago now, back in 2014. Holy fuck, I'm ancient. That's when I started making hair content on YouTube, and boy, has the platform changed since I first started. It's almost unrecognizable, if I'm honest. So before I get started, I am gonna ask you to smash that button that looks like this before we get any further. I'll let you, go and do that right now. Tick, tick, done. Awesome, great. No, but honestly, showing your support really helps me out. You guys know that, and it makes the world of difference, okay? In terms of sustainability of me being able to do this. And I really appreciate all of you, so thanks. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, undercut hairstyles and the men's hair community on YouTube as you know it today. There is a few men's hair giants still kicking around on this platform as well, who are here for the big bang, I guess you could call it, of the men's hair community on YouTube. And the one thing that they all had in common at the time was the disconnected undercut, and this includes myself. My undercut isn't actually on this list. I mean, it should be. If you want to see any of my other videos that I've made ages ago when I had the disconnected undercut, just type into the YouTube search bar, Thomas in Action undercut, and all of my humdingers will pop up, especially my my whole hair growth journey from going to an undercut to what I am now. I also looked so freaking young in those videos. It's actually scary that it's already 2020. So anyway, let's get into these undercut legends, okay? Undercut number 1 is from the elusive one and only Luca Fersko. Firstly, does anyone know what the fuck happened to Luca Fersko? Like, this guy literally dropped off the face of YouTube overnight. It was so weird. And what's even more fucked up is he had incredible style, probably still does, and he had incredible hair, which he was able to convey really well in his videos. And he was growing at the speed of light on this platform too. And then poof, overnight, he's just gone. He is still around, obviously, and I think he's on Instagram, and I think he's doing really well for himself, particularly in the fashion scene. He's just not in the hair game anymore, and I guess it just wasn't his thing, Going back to his undercut, his best undercut, in my opinion, was when he had about 9 inches on the top with the classic buzz cut around the side. This was the same undercut style that I went for at the time as well, and I'm pretty sure back in the beginning we both started content making around the same time. In Luca's short time on YouTube as well, he did do a few collaborations as well. He worked with the salon guy, who makes awesome hair content, by the way, if you haven't checked him out. He does a lot of cutting and things like that, but he's also really good with style. And he also did a really good collaboration with Joe from BluMaan on how he did his top knot style back in the day. The good old days. Okay, next undercut, let's go. Okay, undercut number 2 is from Drexler. If you don't know who Drexler is, I would be extremely surprised, but he is an OG men's hair YouTuber from way back as well. He's had some pretty interesting hair over the years as well, or in the time. I think the time that he went platinum blonde was pretty cool, but for me, my favorite undercut style from him is just the disconnected undercut with the 0.5 buzz, no fade or anything like that, and I think he was rocking that back in 2014 or something like that. And here's a fun little fact for you as well. Drexler was my initial inspiration for doing my hair growth check-ins that I did before I started this whole long hair thing. Yes, I remember it very vividly as well. It was just before I decided to grow out my disconnected undercut. I went looking through for like hair growth inspiration, and I came across his hair growth check-ins that he did and was doing at the time. He was doing a very similar thing, checking in with his audience. Our hair objectives, though, were very different. He never really planned to go the whole, full growing it out or getting a man bun or anything. I think what he wanted was just, longer sides or something. You get it. I found him inspiring at the time, and that's how it all happened. But the guy has great hair and certainly rocks an undercut. Undercut number 3 is from Jordan O'Brien. Jordan O'Brien is another OG men's hair YouTuber, or lifestyle YouTuber if you like. Jordan has this really interesting classic style. When you watch his videos, you instantly get this old gentleman barbershop kind of feel. I really, really love his vibe, and I think he's really groovy. So another one, if you haven't checked him out, make sure you get onto it. As for Jordan's hair though, he doesn't have an undercut anymore. I think when we look back to when he did have one, the most memorable undercut style I can remember from him was also in 2014 when he first started publishing YouTube content as well. It seemed to be like the one time where everyone started doing it. He rocked the disconnected undercut with a 0 to a 1.5 fade and wore it unbunned a lot. This is the classic style of his that I remember really, really loving, and I thought it looked so fucking cool. And at this particular point, I was just getting started into hair on YouTube, and I remember coming across his videos, which was called The Gentleman's Cove at the time, and I felt really inspired by him just to, you know, start making content. However, the one issue I have with this style, or the undercut that he had, even though it looked really cool when he wore it out of the bun, having the 0 to the 1.5 fade and wearing the top knot did this guy no favors. When I was putting together all the show notes for this video, I went through a heap of his old videos and I found this video that should be appearing on screen right now. I've given Kim the links to that. And I had a real problem with how fluffy the sides looked when he did that top knot style. Like, he did a top knot tutorial, and I just remember going like, Jordan, no. Looking at it now, I probably looked at it back in the day and went, fuck yeah, man, that's cool. But when I look at it now, I'm like, oh, no. When I think of the perfect top knot style, I think really clean, really sleek, not sleek with fluffy sides. Anyway, top knot aside, Jordan's undercut was really, really one to admire, and that's why I put him on the list. You know what as well? Another milestone for the books was being able to work with Jordan and his business partner Carlos back in 2018. So they approached me to feature, they have a brand together called Chapter Styling Cream, and I happily accepted the offer. I was like, fuck yes, I'm gonna work with them. I ended up using the product to make a really cool curly hairstyle with braids. If you wanna watch that video, it will be up in the cards or somewhere on screen here. Yeah, and that's my claim to fame with Jordan O'Brien. Undercut number 4 is from Anthony Deluca. Anthony Deluca is another awesome men's hair YouTuber, or used to be men's hair YouTuber. If you haven't heard of him, I'd also be very surprised. This guy has the thickest head of hair, like we're talking voluminous, dense, awesome freaking hair, and he also rocked a really cool disconnected undercut way back in the day. Similar to Jordan O'Brien, Anthony's best undercut though, in my opinion, was the super sharp fade that he went from a 0 to a 2. And then what I found really interesting was he had it tapered from the back to make it shorter and gradually get longer from the front to give his hair this awesome like forward flow motion. It almost looked like it was moving. It was actually so majestic, and that's the real hairstyle that I remember of his, like going like, oh, you got my attention, man. I thought he looked really cool. If I ever want to go back to an undercut style, which I don't think I'm going to do, this one would be the one that I would go for though, like that taper to the front. It just looks so cool. And as good as Anthony's hair is as well, unfortunately, he stopped making men's hair content just like Luca. I feel like he was really good at it too, but he did note and is very open about his passion being fashion and videography. That's really what he is into. And yeah, I think his new channel, which he ended up ditching the whole hair one and making a new one where he could just do it about fashion. And it looks like he's doing what he's meant to be doing, so good on him. But loved his undercut when he had it. And now for undercut number 5, the last undercut on the list, from none other than the hair king of YouTube himself.
Thomas in action!
Yeah, no, it's actually BluMaan. Joe is a fucking legend when it comes to hair, and he's been on this platform for absolutely ever, and is probably one of the only men's hair YouTubers that successfully launched a brand
and dominated a space on the internet.
Joe has always been a really big inspiration for me on this platform, even since back in 2014 to now. He's pretty much always rocked an undercut, and the standout feature to me of his hair is that voluminous front section that he seems to be able to seamlessly style with his Dyson Supersonic. Yes, he uses one too. Like Joe, like Thomas. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my god, I look like such a kiss ass. He truly is a master, and my favorite undercut from him is a little different to the rest. I always remember, particularly from back in the day, Joe's undercut having really short sides around his temples and then gradually getting longer towards the back of the crown. It's kind of like starting 0 here, and it doesn't fade from the bottom of the head. It always like started his temple and gradually was blended to the back of his crown and blended into the top section of his hair as well before it came forward to the big voluminous pomp that he has. Or I think he still has it, yeah. He's always had really thick, unique hair, and I'd be an absolute idiot if he wasn't on this list today, so there you go. Also, just a little side note, back in 2017, I wanted to work with the BluMaan brand so badly, I sent countless amounts of messages to their PR team asking if they'd be keen to collaborate with me on doing some sort of men's long hair styling thing, because I could really see potential for using their products on men's long hair. Back then, guys with long hair wouldn't use products like that, and I was like, no, we can do this, let's work together. I literally attempted about 7 times before Steven from BluMaan said, okay, fine, I'll send you some products, and I finally got to collaborate with them, which was awesome. And now I am on their PR list, which is a super big milestone for me. And yeah, I'm really grateful for that. So love you, BluMaan. Love you. I will say, I think my ego is a little bit bummed that he has never actually acknowledged me publicly. I mean, particularly on past collaborations that I've done with BluMaan, like, he probably still doesn't even know who I am, which, I mean, it's not really a big deal, but it would be nice though, you know? Like, when Robert James does a BluMaan review, Joe's right there dropping a, thanks for your stuff, man. Like, where's mine? No, I'm just kidding. It actually doesn't matter because I'm grateful to, you know, be working with them anyway. A very similar thing happened with Drexler as well. So Shavu, which he owns. So before I knew he was the owner, his team actually reached out to me asking whether I'd be interested in working with them. And at that time, they only had the ocean clay available. And I honestly, at the time as well, didn't think that it was a good fit for me. So I declined when they initially reached out. And then after I tried the BluMaan Cavalier clay, I was like, holy fuck, I need more of this shit. So I emailed Shavu straight back and got no response. I even used like Mail Track as well, which tells you when people open your emails, and boy, they left me on red. A big fat red. But I get it, you know, like they might have, you know, their idea of a great fit and that may have changed, or I don't really know, but it doesn't matter either. We're all part of this community and yeah, it's cool. Anyway guys, so that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you found that somewhat entertaining and you enjoyed this blast from the past. It's actually really cool to go back through that shit because it reminds me of where all of this kind of started, and I guess I'm just really appreciative of how it's all kind of happened, to be honest. Please remember to smash the button that looks like this because you know it helps me continue this saga. And if you are growing your hair out or you're in the awkward stages and need some support, the Man Buns and Mains Facebook group is down below for you. It's a really cool, really safe environment for guys to grow their hair out, get solid, quality hair care advice, and you won't be judged, okay? So if that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, the invitation is there. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye!